All right, John chapter 10 tonight. John chapter 10. We have been studying It's Your Choice on Sunday nights, and it's about having an abundant life and whether we want to do that, have victory over the flesh and the world and the devil. It's our choice to mortify the flesh or to feed the flesh. And tonight I just want to preach to you a little bit about abundant life, having an abundant life. Jesus is talking here, and it's a discourse on the Good Shepherd, of course. And, of course, Jesus is our Good Shepherd. But then he says in verse number 10, "The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly." And then he says in verse 11, "I am the good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep." Now, if Satan was saying that and being truthful in saying that, which he is, of course, the biggest liar in the world, but if he would be truthful just a little while, if he was to say to you that he's come to give you what? Death. And death more abundantly. He's come to give you death and to take away any kind of abundance or any kind of joy, any kind of satisfaction or contentedness in your life. But the Lord Jesus Christ says that He has come to give us life and to give it more abundantly. So the question is, what is abundant life? What is abundant life tonight? And I'm glad you asked that, because I'm going to give you the answer. You know, sometimes when you start to say what something is, it's a good idea to tell you what it isn't. And so that's what we'll start with. Abundant life, first of all, is not necessarily a long life. Now, this is not our outline yet. Our outline will be near the end or closer to the end. Abundant life is not necessarily a long life. You know, people think that abundant life means I'm going to live a long time. No, that's not what it means. Did you know tonight that some people can live more in 30 years than some people can live in 75 years? Did you know that? You can have 30 years and live for eternity, and 75 years and live for the world, and those 30 years are a whole lot more abundant than those 75 years. Some people can touch more lives in their life or even their death in 25 or 30 years than some will do in a normal lifespan. And abundant life is not necessarily a long life. It's not necessarily a life that's free from sorrow or sickness. Some people say, well, you know, I have an abundant life. There's no sorrow or sickness in my life. Well, that's not true. Now, God spares us, I believe, from a lot of sorrows that we could have. Matter of fact, if you live for God, you're going to be spared a lot of regrets and a lot of misery that other people have. But abundant life is not necessarily a life free from sorrow or sickness. Abundant life, listen to me, it's not a life where we just constantly go around smiling and somebody says, well, how's it going? And you say, peachy keen. That's not necessarily the case. Not every day is peachy keen. You know, not every day is good. Or you know, somebody says, well, how are you doing? I'm just doing so wonderful. Or man, everything is so good. Never have any issues or problems. Well, of course, then we know you're lying anyhow. Now, there's some people I don't ask how they're doing. They'll tell you, and you may be there a while. So you got to be careful about that. You know, it's not necessarily a life free from sorrow or sickness where we just go around smiling all the time, okay? That's not what it is. It's not necessarily a life of abundance of things. You know, we think an abundant life, well, that means I got a lot of things. That's not necessarily an abundant life. Matter of fact, the more things you have, the more you got to take care of. And sometimes that can be painful. Painful. We was at the men's Bible study, we was talking about riches. Harry mentioned that and what really makes you rich in life. And we got to talking about various illustrations, and you know, people buy things and think that that's going to satisfy them, and then it ends up causing more aggravation and more tension and more distress in their life. It's not necessarily abundance of things, but I'm going to tell you what the abundant life is tonight. It's the contented life. The contented life. The contentment that comes from the confidence that God is equal to everything in our life. He's equal to every emergency. to every normal thing in our life, and He does indeed supply all of our genuine needs according to His riches in glory by Christ Jesus. The contented life, the abundant life, is the life of the sheep who finds himself in the hands of a good shepherd. That's what he's talking about here. He's talking about the good shepherd. He said in the next verse, I am the good shepherd. And he says, I've come that you might have life, you might have it more abundantly. And we see ourselves as sheep. We're sheep, by the way. We see ourselves as sheep who finds himself in the hands of a good shepherd. Now, are there dangers? Yes, there are dangers. There will be plenty of dangers. There will be storms. There may even be drought. There may even be famine. There will be some tough times. But it's usually during those tough times that priorities come into focus more clearly. It is usually during tough times that our spiritual senses are awakened and we begin to think about God. We was also talking about how that, we say, well, I hope I have a good year this year and don't have a lot of car breakdowns and don't have a lot of medical bills and things like that, and maybe I can kind of get ahead. And it was mentioned, that about the time you feel like you got ahead, all of a sudden, boom, the bottom drops out and you got these bills you didn't expect. That's happened to me too. I'll tell Dana, I said, well, you know what? Boy, if we could go without some of these medical bills we had the last year, man, we're going to be sitting good. And of course, maybe this year we don't have them. Well, then the next year we have double that or something, That's just the way it goes. And the idea here is this. We're not to trust in those riches anyhow. We're just to trust in the Lord to meet our needs. I believe we have a good shepherd. Do you not believe that? I believe we have a good shepherd and we just are in His arms, in His hands, and I believe that He can take care of us. He can meet our genuine needs. You go to a cemetery and you see, you go to a place where you see a bunch of crosses. And you get to thinking, well, what are those crosses out there for? Are those folks saved? And you know very well that a lot of those crosses, those people are not saved. Matter of fact, you know under some of those crosses, those people never darkened the door of a church. But they put a cross on their gravesite. And so you think about a cross on a gravesite, what does that have to do with? Well, you think about it. When you get near death or start thinking about death, what should you really start thinking about? Eternity. Jesus, the cross, God, salvation, forgiveness. We should think about those kind of things. We have a tendency during times of great abundance, we shy away from God. And God knows, that may very well happen to us because it sure happened to Israel. And God blessed them in great ways, and then He warned them, and they still did not listen. And you know what God did? He sent leanness into their lives. About the time, we think it's all going good and we want to forget God, let me tell you something. God is going to send some leanness into your life. Drought, famine, danger. But I'll tell you, even in the midst of drought, famine, and danger, in the hands of a good shepherd, the sheep is content and life is beautiful, life is abundant. And I believe tonight again that we have a good shepherd and we can have abundant life when we just place ourselves in His arms, in His hands. Abundance, contentment. Contentment means satisfaction, and satisfaction means to have enough. To have enough. The abundant life is one in which we are content in the knowledge that God's grace is more than sufficient for our needs, that nothing other than ourselves can suppress it, and that God's favor toward us can be unending. How rich is God tonight? You ever wondered that? How rich is He? Just answer that to yourself for a moment. All right, I ask you this question. How rich is Bill Gates? But I'm talking about money-wise, financially. Financially, he's Warren Buffett. You hear these names. You hear the name Donald Trump. You hear the name Sam Walton, which Sam Walton's gone, but his family. Y'all ever heard of Walmart? When I moved out to Springfield, Missouri, by the way, Walmart is based in Bentonville, Arkansas, which is just over the south of Missouri there. And when I went to Bible college in Springfield, Missouri, I went to one of the first Walmarts that ever opened up on Kansas Expressway. Now it's a whole brand new shopping center, but I mean, it was a Walmart, really a little old dinky thing. But it was one of the first Walmarts that ever opened up on Kearney in Kansas is where it was. And I went there, a number of times. Me and Dana went there a number of times. And that's where the Waltons, basically in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas, got their start. And now almost every, even little town that you go into, you see a Walmart. Just about everywhere you go. So how rich is the Walton family? They've got, at least $20 in their bank account, I know. All right, let's do this. Let's put all of the Walton family's money, Donald Trump's money, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett's. Some of y'all might remember the name Alan Paulson that used to be here in town, that owned Gulfstream or owned a lot of Gulfstream. And he lived out there on Dutch Island or somewhere and rode the helicopter from, his house into Gulfstream every day and that kind of thing. Had a golf course, a 9-hole golf course out there on his property type thing. You take all of their money, and then you add the money that Reuben Jenkins has to it, and add all of his riches, his millions in there as well. And you know what? It would not be a fingernail worth of what God has. Because I ask you this question. Are their driveways paved with gold? Is Sam Walton's family's driveways paved with gold? No. No, they're not. But God's streets are paved with gold. You think about heaven for just a moment, and you think of, again, we see some wonderful things down here. You go to a jewelry store, and you see some of these different things, and these different jewels and gems and all that kind of stuff. Listen, you can't even imagine what it's going to be like in heaven with all the precious jewels that's going to be there. Matter of fact, I ask you this, does the Walton family or Donald Trump or Bill Gates have gates of pearl around their houses? No, they don't. No, they don't. Do Bill Gates and Sam Walton and Donald Trump still have to fight the Georgia state bird? You know what the Georgia state bird is? The mosquito. It's technically the brown thrasher, but it's really the mosquito. And do they still have to fight that? Yes, they do. But guess what? We get to heaven one day, we don't have to do that. See, God, we're told that He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, the wealth in every mine. He owns the rivers and the rocks and the rills, the sun and stars that shine. Do you not think that God can make you content and satisfied and give you an abundant life? Boy, if you don't, then you've missed the whole first part of this message. Do you not think that today He can give you that abundant life? Listen, God has the resources. God has the wisdom. God has the power or the energy to do it. And of course, I'm not even speaking of money. I'm speaking of life. Of life. Alive. Now, before you can have abundant life, of course, you have to have life. And by that I mean, physical life, first of all, of course, but then spiritual life. And if you're not saved tonight, you can't have abundant life. You have to have, first of all, spiritual life. So if you're not saved, you need to stay after, and I'll talk to you about that afterwards. All right, let's go back to Psalm 23. Let me show you some contentedness, satisfaction. Let me show you an abundant life, all right? Very familiar psalm. Maybe we're going to look at it in just a little different light here tonight. But we're going to compare it to John chapter 10 and verse 10 when Jesus said, I've come to give you life, and I've come to give it more abundantly, that we can have an abundant life. that He can supply our needs, our genuine needs. He can make us content. He has the power, He has the energy, He has the wisdom, He has the means to do it. Because the very first verse of Psalm 23, and you know it by heart probably, it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." The word want there, of course, means there's nothing that God cannot supply. I don't need anything. I mean, He takes care of all of that. You're not wanting. That means you are content. And that state can only exist in the life of a sheep. See, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. That can only exist in the life of a sheep when they are in the care of a good shepherd. And I tell you right now, Jesus said, "I've come that you might have life, might have it more abundantly." I am the good shepherd. So we are in the hands and the arms of a good shepherd tonight. We can have abundant life. Abundant life. He says, "The Lord is my shepherd." We might even say it like this: "The Lord is my good shepherd. I do not lack for anything." He can take care of everything. He can make me content. All right, now when we talk about sheep, let me see here. Come up here, Joey. Come up here, David. Come up here, Ariana. Come up here, Evan. Come up here just a second. All right, y'all stand and face the crowd. All right, here's our little sheep here tonight, okay? And I'm the shepherd. Okay, y'all are the sheep. There you go. Yeah. What, is that what they say, baa? Okay. All right, they're the sheep. These are some good-looking sheep, are they not? Good-looking sheep up here. All right, here's the sheep. All right, I want y'all to stand right here for just a moment. Look pretty. Don't baa or anything. Just stand there for just a second, because we're gonna go on a little trip here in just a second. So just hang tight. All right, I'm gonna give you 5 things now that the sheep need, or that the sheep do not want for. Let's put it like that. That the sheep do not want for. Okay, we are like sheep, and these kids here tonight are. Tell me your age. Speak it out. 7. 8.5, 11, and 7. All right, so we got the different ages. All right, so you got that. Now, they are our sheep tonight, and there's 5 things that sheep do not want for when they are in the arms and hands of a good shepherd. Number 1 is rest. Number 1 is rest. Notice it says in verse number 2, "He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul." Now, let's see. Sheep number 1. Lie down. There you go. All right. Just lay down right there, okay? Relax for just a moment. All right. Do you know that a sheep will not lie down real easily? Now, that one did pretty good, but sheep will not lie down real easily. By the way, have you ever been in the countryside and you're driving down the road or whatever, and you see this pasture that's just totally green and just green grass over there? And have you ever wanted to just stop and say, "Man, I just want to go out there and just kind of lay down in that"? Man, that looks so good. Well, a sheep is not going to lie down real easily unless certain things or certain requirements are met. Do you know what some of the things that they will not lie down? See, it says, "He maketh me to lie down in green pastures." He gives me rest. You know what sheep have to be free of? They have to be free of all fear. Now, sheep are kind of timid. Okay, sheep number 2. Sheep number 1, you keep lying down. Sheep number 2, I'm gonna go boo, and you act like you're really scared. Okay. You maybe don't scream your loudest, because I know you can scream. Just a little light scream here. I'm just going to say boo, and you just act like a scaredy cat, okay? Boo. There you go. All right. Now, that's what a sheep does. A sheep is scared out of their minds. They are very timid. They very shy. They're very scared. They're easily scared. Okay, they're basically cowards. Okay, and so they have to be free of all fear. You know, a sheep has no way. Sheep is one of the animals that has no way to protect themselves. Did you know that? You know, different animals have different ways to protect themselves. Some of them have claws. Some of them have teeth. Other things, you know, some of them can run fast, whatever. A sheep, nothing. Nothing. They have nothing to protect themselves. They're just there for the taking. They have to be free of all fear. They have to be free from friction from the flock. You know, if all of a sudden, let's see, sheep number 3 and sheep number 4. All right, y'all put your dukes up to each other. All right. These two have been fighting. They've been fighting. And guess what? It's going to be hard for them to lay down because there's friction in the flock. Okay, it's going to be hard for them to sleep. There's friction in the flock. Okay, y'all can put that down for right now. There's friction in the flock. A third thing is that they are free from torment by flies or parasites. They don't want flies flying all around them. All right, sheep number 2, pretend there's flies all around you and kind of swat them down. But see, a sheep don't even do that. A sheep can't even do that, really. And then they have to be free from hunger. Okay, sheep number 3, act like you just ate a big meal. Oh, man, that feels so good. Yeah, my belly is full. And I'm free from hunger. All right, so listen to me. Before they can get rest, they must be free from fear, tension, aggravation, and hunger. And do you know who is the only person that can provide that for them? The shepherd, the good shepherd. A shepherd who loves them will make sure that they're free from that so that then they can lie down and they can rest. All right, y'all just hang in there. Now, when you lie down and rest, like this number 1 sheep is doing here, he's sort of resting a little bit. Let me tell you something. You have complete confidence in the shepherd. Complete confidence in the shepherd. You know what? You say, the shepherd has met my needs. The psalmist said it like this: I laid me down and slept and awake, for the Lord sustained me. He says in Psalm 4:8, I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. Do you know when you sleep best? When you're not laying awake thinking about something, or something's on your mind. You sleep best that way. When we are content. When everything's right between us and God. The abundant life is a life full of good rest in the Lord. All right, secondly, there's guidance. Okay, the good shepherd gives us guidance. Okay, all right, sheep, get up. It's daytime. We're good. Okay, all right. All right, I want y'all to follow me. All right, guidance. A good shepherd is going to lead his sheep, and they're going to follow him, all right? So y'all are just kind of following the shepherd wherever he goes, all right? Y'all are kind of following the shepherd and just going wherever he goes. That's a good sheep. Now, sheep, of course, again, they just follow. Now, what happens sometimes, though, to sheep?
They get off.
Okay.
They run
all right,
away.
You 3 stay right here. And you be the bad sheep here today, and you kind of wander off over there. Nope, you stay right here, all right? All right, and just kind of wander off and stay right over there, all right? Y'all stay right there. Okay. Evan, you can stay right there, that's fine. Notice what it says in the Bible. It says that He leadeth me beside the still waters, and He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Again, sheep are basically stupid creatures. I hate to just say it like that, but you might as well just be plain. They easily wander away. I have brought these sheep to a delicious grazing land here. There's plenty of good grass and plenty of water for them on this side. But then we got one who wants to be rebellious, who wants to wander away over the hill. And you know what's over the hill? The fields are barren and the water is undrinkable. A good shepherd, listen to me, a good shepherd would never lead his sheep over here where there's no pasture and where there's no water or the water is undrinkable. A good shepherd would always lead his flock to a place where there's plenty of green grass, good pasture, and still waters. A good shepherd would never lead them there, but they go there themselves. They go there themselves. Then you know what the shepherd does? The shepherd leaves those. Jesus even did this, remember? He had 100 sheep. 99 of them did good, and one got lost. And what did Jesus do? Went and found it. And so the good shepherd goes out looking and finds it. And I'm not going to pick you up, but a lot of times he would pick you up and bring you back into the fold here. And so that is a good lesson for us to learn, because, you know, a lot of times we as sheep, we wander off, do we not? The good shepherd has led us a certain way and we wander off. And guess what? God is still going to come after you. If you're one of His, He's going to come after you. Sheep need guidance. The good shepherd gives them guidance. The good shepherd is the one who gives us that abundant life. That's guidance. All right, the third thing is safety. Safety. It says here in verse 4, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for Thou art with me, Thy rod and Thy staff, they comfort me." Do you know, in one sense, we're all at death's door continually? Did you know that? We never know what a day is going to bring forth, do we? You never know what your heart's going to do. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes we're out and about with the sheep, and there's storms. And again, the sheep, you know, can get scared in that. And the shepherd is there with them and tries to get them protection. They may go into a cave or something, but they try to get them protection because they're very scared. And the good shepherd gives us that safety, protects us. And that's what we need. Even in the midst of the valley of the shadow of death, what does He say? You don't need to fear any evil. He says, because I'm with you. I'm with you. My rod and my staff, they will comfort you. And then there's also provision. That's number 4, provision. See, as our good shepherd says, I'll give you abundant life, and we do not lack for anything. And one thing we do not lack for is provision. Because you see what He says there in verse number 5? Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Did y'all know that in some of the pastures there's poisonous plants? Did you know in some of the pastures there are predators? What's something that would like to eat the sheep? Anybody know?
Lion.
A lion? Fox? Tiger? Wolf? Lions? Yeah. I mean, there's remember David even killed a lion that had come after one of his sheep, and a bear too that came. And see, you sheep are, y'all are juicy. All right? And so, you know, all those other wild animals like y'all. And of course, you can't run fast, you're dumb, and all that kind of stuff. You can't see very well. All those kind of things. He gives us protection, but then He also gives us provision. He goes out and He clears out the land so that you can go out there and listen. He brings you to this grassy place that you can just graze at. And He's taking care of all of the things that's out there that could hurt you. And you just go to town. You just go, boom, 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 boom. That's what you can do. Our table is prepared. And listen, it even says our cup is overflowing. Overflowing. Isn't that wonderful? And then you know what else the shepherd's prepared for us, the good shepherd? A heavenly home. A heavenly home. He says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Shepherds and the sheep were nomadic. You know what nomadic means? Anybody know what nomadic means? Being a nomad?
No. Oh, yeah.
Being a nomad, what does it mean?
Don't stay in one place.
That's right. Move around. There you go. That's right. So you move around from place to place. All right? And so you're nomadic. You don't stay in one place very long. So we're going to stay here for a couple of days, and then we're going to move over here for a couple of days, and we're going to move over here for a couple of days, we're going to move over here. And in reality, we human beings are nomads We're just passing through this world. This is not our home. This is not our home. We're just passing through. As a matter of fact, you've even heard that song that says, this world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. And how true that is. Eventually, right now even though, God is preparing our homes for us, our dwelling places, to where we will get to live for eternity one day. He says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Listen, folks, that is the ultimate in contentment and abundant life. That's the ultimate. Now, abundance does not mean abundance of things. Abundance is this. It's the image of the good shepherd leading his sheep into the green pastures beside the still waters, of his pursuing the stray sheep, keeping them from harm, and leading them to good water. And I ask you this, and by the way, y'all can go sit down. Let's give them a hand. Good job. I'm just about finished. It's the image of the good shepherd leading his sheep into the green pastures beside the still waters, of his pursuing the stray sheep when they go astray, keeping them from harm and leading them to good water. Here's the question I have for you tonight. Is that only for the brilliant sheep? Is it only for the beautiful sheep? Is it only for the energetic sheep? No. It is a promise for all those who follow where their shepherd leads, believing that he knows what is best for them. There's another song that says, Savior, like a shepherd lead us. Much we need thy tender care. In thy pleasant pastures feed us. For our use thy folds prepare. You want an abundant life? Well, I think Psalm 23 describes it pretty good. Because we have a good shepherd. And you know what we're supposed to do? We're just supposed to follow him. Follow him. Fall in line and follow him. Then you'll have an abundant life. You'll have an abundant life.